All right, Ronnie, let's talk about the latest news with LSU. Of course, it broke right after we got off the air yesterday. Dave Aranda, the newest head coach over at Baylor. And we knew once the UNLV stuff started, okay, he's looking. Right. And it was always the question, does he want to be a head coach? Does he want to be a coordinator? You thought maybe an NFL defense coordinator was where his end goal was for him. It's a good job. Baylor, Matt Rule got them playing at a really high level, maybe even playing over their heads. But Baylor's had success with different head coaches now. Art Briles had some issues, obviously, off the field, but, they're on the field. They were playing well. Matt Rule brought them back to life after you didn't know how long they were going to be bad. And this is a team that played in the Sugar Bowl this year, and Dave Aranda takes over a team that's got some guys coming back, including their quarterback. Before we talk about it from an LSU perspective, how do you think Dave Aranda as a head coach plays out?
Well, I think, first off, his strength obviously is the defensive side of the football. And I think that in that conference, he can make a difference, right? There's not a lot of defense being played in the Big 12. And so I think the fact that he's such a good defensive coach, he knows defensive talent and schemes. He's had success, of course, against Oklahoma, who's the standard bearer in that league. He knows how to defend them and how to play them. That's going to bode well for Baylor. They're not just like they used to be, where it was all about the offense. This year, there was very much about their defense as well. They were very balanced. So that's a good thing. You're in a league that I think he can have success. I mean, can he ever be Oklahoma year in and year out? Probably not. But can he be in that top 4 year in and year out? Absolutely.
That's it. Can you be Oklahoma, Texas, and you switch with TCU for that third spot every year? You do that at Baylor, you'll be in Waco for as long as you want to be there. Dave recruiting and being the lead recruiter, let's see how that plays out.
This is the thing I'm most interested in, and that is the press conference, because I'm going to hear Dave Aranda talk more at that press conference than I have in the last 4 years.
Well, now when he gets going, he talks in length. It's just real slow and it's real quiet.
Real slow, and they kept him away from the media.
He stretches the words out, and then he goes over your head with it too. Like, so wait a minute, whoa, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so he's a defensive guru, but how will that kind of that scientific, nerdy guru thing play as the leader of a program where we think of head coaches as either one of two ways? Either they're the Barnum and Bailey salesman type, lovable, everybody likes them, or they're the old school, tough as nails, big guy, intimidating type. He kind of fits neither one of those buckets. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think he's a good enough coach where he will come out on top, and he'll probably be very smart and hire himself with guys that have talents he doesn't have.
I want to know who he hires. I'm very intrigued with that. I want to know who he's taking from LSU. Mm-hmm. You would assume he's going to take somebody from that defensive staff, name them defensive coordinator, get them Bill Bush. That's probably the lead candidate because they have so many ties. Mm-hmm. He would be the defensive coordinator, I would assume, at Baylor. Obviously, Dave's going to be calling the plays, but you would get a big bump, and you'd have a say-so in the game planning. Look, I don't know if it's going to be Bill Bush. You would just assume somebody, and it might be a position coach, not a coordinator. Mm-hmm. It might be an analyst who did a really nice job behind the scenes for LSU, and now they're going to be a position coach at Baylor. Because when Joe Brady gone, I don't know if Joe's going to take anybody. He might take Mangus with him. It might be a deal where he takes some analysts and different things. Is Dave going to take a position coach? I'm intrigued by that to see who he adds to his staff.
And a little caveat also that kind of, I don't know if you brought it up, I'm sure you did. Frank Wilson took the McNeese job when everybody thought Frank would end up at LSU or maybe back at Ole Miss with Kiffin, ties to both programs, and he's a super recruiter. That was a surprise that he took that job when he did. Now, obviously, if you're a coach at a Southland Conference school, you can jump at any time. And he would make more. We just saw the coach from McNeese go be the coordinator at Syracuse.
Right,
and so you can make more money. But the fact that he took it tells me the deal wasn't sewn up like everybody thought. And that was a little bit of a surprise. But, I don't know if all this shakeup changes things, but that was just something that kind of slid under the radar the last couple of days with everything else going on. That I was really surprised about.
Maybe it was his only head coaching opportunity at the time. And sometimes when you become a head coach and you have all the power of the organization and you pull all the strings and you're the guy in charge, it's hard. It's hard to go back and just be a position coach, right? Not even a coordinator, right? A position coach. And So maybe that had to do with it. I mean, McNeese is a winning program.
Right.
I mean, the Southland Conference, as far as within the FCS, is a really good division.
That's saying, though, if Frank Wilson is committed to that, to stay as the head coach at McNeese, and he is not going to leave to take a job that would probably pay him double or triple what he's making at McNeese, that says he's all in on proving his worth as a head coach, and that he got a taste of it at UT San Antonio, doesn't want to go back. And that's to be commended because, trust me, he is taking a huge pay cut by doing that.
Who do you think, and look, we're going to probably spend more time than just this segment talking about it. And before we throw names out there, do you think Coach O goes to replace Dave Aranda? Does he go proven guy? Does he go guy who's done it in the past and brings him back, say he's been a coordinator, got a head coaching opportunity, didn't work out, and now he's sitting at home, but he's been a really good defensive coordinator? Do you think it's somebody we don't know? Because when Joe Brady was hired, some of us knew who Joe Brady was, but a lot of the fan base didn't know who he was, and you kind of have to trust Coach O, and I think that one worked out pretty well. And so you're not going to rush the judgment, I don't think, if it's a guy we don't know necessarily, but this has a feel of, okay, we just had a guy who made $2.5 million. We've got a lot of assets we can throw at a lot of different coordinators. I'm going to go get the best guy that's the best fit. Not the Matt Canada, right? Not the guy that just because of his buzz name and all that. I think Coach O does a really nice job after all that happened of, hey, we're going to get the guys that fit LSU the best. Which way do you think they go, in your opinion?
Well, I think with the Brady decision versus the defensive coordinator decision are two different ones. You always had the safety valve of Steve Ensminger behind Brady. So you went for the young cat who's bringing some new ideas to the table and help you with your RPO, but you knew at the end of the day you had trust in Steve Ensminger as a proven commodity as an offensive coordinator, so things weren't going to get too loose. On the defensive side, though, he's had a lot of trust and faith in Dave Aranda for the last 4 years and has kind of turned that over to him. I think he goes the same way. I think he goes and gets who he thinks is the best candidate for the job, as opposed to saving money or going for a young guy and let's roll the dice. No, I think he's going to spend the $2 million and go get a big time guy.